station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
Minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. In order to maintain the country that we have, we ask of our military to put themselves in harm's way. That is what we ask them to do every single time. And our military is completely voluntary. So everybody in the military is there because they have said, you know what, I want to do something for my country. I want to serve my country, and this is how I want to do it. It doesn't matter which branch of the service you've joined. If you've done that, we salute you, we thank you, and we owe you. And part of that, of what we owe, is we owe you some way to regain a sense of worth, a sense of self-esteem, because sometimes what you've gone through, especially in combat, has taken away from you things that we never understood before. You hear the term post-traumatic stress disorder, or the shortened version, PTSD, and you really don't know what that's like. You know, it's probably no different than hearing about somebody getting an arm amputated. You don't really know what that's like if you have never had that happen to you. And it is interesting how we as human beings can figure out a way to try to help when somebody has had something very traumatic happen to them in one way or another, whether it was something that happened physically directly or something indirectly or something you witnessed. You hear about this all the time with children who've witnessed horrible things. You hear about it all the time with women who've been abused, you know, and we have a program here in Ocala where we have some horse therapy, and it would take somebody smarter than me to explain how that works, how riding a horse actually makes somebody whole again, but it does. And we've heard so much from those folks. Well, what about climbing to the top of Mount Everest? How would that make somebody feel? I can only imagine the self-esteem that you would have once you said, you know what, I did. I climbed the top of Mount Everest. We know a few people who went to the Kilimanjaro.
Yes. And
so, I mean, and that's like one of the first things they'll tell you if you are ever in a conversation with them. Command Sergeant Major Todd Burnett, I believe he's been with us before. He's the co-founder of USX. He's on the phone right now. He's talking to us about a movie called the USX Veteran Everest Expedition. So let's find out about this, about what the movie represents, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing this movie. You know, I'm not a big movie guy, but I'm looking forward to seeing this one. Command Sergeant Major Todd Burnett. He's going to have to help me understand how to address him. I don't want to do it the wrong way. Sir, good morning, sir. I'll do that first thoughts. Good morning, sir. Mr. Burnett, how are you?
Good morning. How you doing today, sir?
Pretty good. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from MacDill Air Force Base.
Well, thank you for your service, and thank you for being on the air with us. Do I address you as Major Burnett?
No, you can just address me as Todd.
Todd, okay. Well, thank you for that. I'm Larry, and this is Robin. I think you know us already. So tell me about this. This is a film. Does the film help us as Americans understand what you're doing with this whole program to go to the top of Mount Everest?
Well, you know, what we want to do is we have the First Army team. It's a 3-person team with Harold Earls, the founder, Elise Ping, and Chad Juke. And they're going to be, you know, a 3-person team that are there right now, and actually in Kathmandu, and getting ready to make the trek along the way. They're getting climatized, and, you know, they're going to do it. And the film is a big part of it, but more importantly, they're going to do this to, you know, raise awareness for post-traumatic stress and suicide. And we're going to, you know, illustrate what it is to have a bond and to take on some monumental task. But it's also part of the Nexus, you know, how we're going to reach them soldiers, service members that are suffering from post-traumatic stress, and try to, you know, help them to not become a statistic, right?
Yeah, really.
Suicide. So, that's kind of what our mission is at USX, is to, just save one and to care that much, to reach out to them and have that impact on that one person that, is making a long-term decision for something that's a short-term effect, right?
So give us some background. How did this idea come to you? Or whoever came to first, how did the idea develop that Mount Everest would be the way to address this?
Well, Harold was a cadet, and he had made the decision that he wanted to try to have the first Army team to climb Everest. And I said, that's a great task.
Yeah, really.
That you're going to do.
Yeah.
That you're going to take something on like that. I said, but more importantly, you want to make sure that you're doing it to raise awareness of something. So him and I had got a bond from my time when I was the command sergeant major at West Point, and he kept in contact. So we talked about it. I said, hey, why don't you do this to raise awareness of post-traumatic stress disorder and suicide? Because I think that they, work hand in hand, if you will, because I think people come back from a traumatic experience over there and they don't quite know how to get their hands around it, and they struggle because nobody understands, right? So
nobody understands is absolutely right. Yeah, we don't. The average person has we have two things we have a hard time understanding. We have a hard time understanding what exactly did you go through that's causing you to have this post-traumatic stress. And the other thing is, why does something like riding a horse or climbing a mountain help with that? Those are the two things we have a hard time with.
Well, what I think you do is there's kind of twofolds. Is these folks like horseback riding, like us doing Mount Everest and our Nexus Expeditions, where we want to bring a small group together, and they're like people that have had the same experience. So it gives them an outlet of who they're going to talk to. So, say Larry, me and you, we go climb Everest. And then we come back. Now we have a bond. So if there's a day that...
Well, you'll have a story about how... You'll have a story about how this old guy died in the snow. That's what... Yeah, that's what you'll have.
Don't worry, Larry. I'm not leaving you behind. I'm going to put you in my ruck and carry you up. So, but at any rate, we're going to have a bond because we've done that. So what my idea and Harold's idea is that, when I'm having that problem, I call Larry, and we have that lifelong bond, because just like in combat, when you go through combat, them are the people that I call now. And I say, hey, what's going on? How you doing?
That makes sense.
Buddy checks, right? And it's the same thing. If you take on a monumental task like Mount Everest, that's going to be a lifelong bond of something that you shared. And then, like I say, we're going to establish it there, and then it's the Nexus Expeditions. Because there's a lot of organizations that are touching, thousands. Well, I want to get to a smaller group, to them, and hone in on it and try to pull them people in that are, because a lot of times they climb into, a different rut, if you will, with post-traumatic stress. And just give them an avenue.
What you're expressing right there explains also why it's so important for us as human beings, and veterans especially seem to understand this and do it almost by nature. You join veterans groups. You wear hats that proclaim which battle you may have been involved in, or which war, or which ship you may have served on, and it's a way to say, okay, this is my thing. Even on, we have a veteran show here on Thursdays. And even the fake rivalry, not as fake, but between like Army and Navy, they always kid each other. I'm with the Army, I'm with the Navy, I'm with the Marines. But that even is a bonding thing. That fun jabbing at each other who was served in a different branch.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, being up at West Point, and Army Navy is such a big rivalry, And when it led up to that, it was amazing to be around there as an enlisted guy, having the opportunity to be there. When it was Army Navy, Harold was the captain of the baseball team, and they go and they have a star match. So there's nothing significant of that. But we have a common bond. So it don't matter if you're in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. we all have a common bond, and we get by that, and it's like you can pick up and talk to one of them people because we all share the same experiences, right?
Okay, are my notes correct regarding age? It looks like you're twice the age of Lieutenant Earls. Am I right?
I am. Yeah, you're.
So
Right.
age.
Thanks for telling me that.
Well, I just no, but it's important because
Welcome to the club.
Because it doesn't. The way you talk, it doesn't sound like there's a difference. It sounds like you're brothers. You're on the same level. That's what it sounds like.
It is, and Harold is just a high energy, high impact young officer in the military, and me being a guy that had been a senior sergeant major, I became a mentor, but also a friend. So we talk often. I've retired 3 years ago, and keep in full contact with Harold. We see each other. I travel around. One of the things that I still do, because one of the things that impacts these soldiers that have post-traumatic stress, and in my life after the Army, I still wanted to be part of what is impacting them. So what I do every day is I go out and I try to look for the best training available to train the service members on how to counter an improvised explosive device. So actually, I'm in Tampa, talking with all the Army leadership about how we can get after this and keep our soldiers well trained to go over to where we send them and be prepared. So, and that's what me and Harold, constantly talk about it. And he asked me questions. I spent 30 years in the Army, so seen a lot of things, and we're close. He's like a son to me.
And on this particular climb, you have both genders that will be climbing, and you also have one of the climbers lost a leg.
Yes, what a phenomenal story of Chad Jukes, single amputee, suffers from post-traumatic stress, but he's taking on the highest climb that you can, and he's just showing all them others that nothing that happened to me is going to slow me down. So it's just a phenomenal story with what Chad is doing. A medically retired staff sergeant who's out there, with the single amputee and just making a difference every day.
In your humbleness, you are not letting our audience know everything about you, so allow me to. I have here a little paragraph that gives a little bit of your bio. I'm sure it just cuts the surface or touches the surface. For the audience's sake, let me tell you who we're talking to right now. Command Sergeant Major Todd Burnett is a co-founder of USX and the climbing team's veteran military liaison and mentor. He is a highly decorated and Purple Heart recipient who holds a horrific record of surviving the most improvised explosive device attacks in the Army, more than 45.
Gosh.
Holy cow. During his 30 years of service as a combat engineer in the Army, he has had multiple deployments to Iraq and Afghanistan. In addition to a Purple Heart, he and 3 Bronze Stars. Is that right? He and 3 Bronze Stars? Right? 3 Bronze Stars. And holds the coveted Ranger tab, among many other military awards. In his retirement, Burnett has become an advocate for the mental health of our nation's veterans and soldiers. Burnett himself has struggled with post-traumatic stress disorder and suicide contemplation. But he says the key to his rehabilitation and management of his mental illness has been the support and love of friends and family, in addition to organized Army sports and working with the veteran community. So you wouldn't have ever said that about yourself. I think the audience needs to know that about you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, but it's what you said. I'm just trying to give back.
Again,
and impact.
As if you haven't already, with 30 years under your belt. My goodness. Okay, so so the movie that I started off with is not made yet. It's being made as we talk.
It is. I mean, they're actually got a film team with them, and they're making the climb with them. And we have a guy. You've probably heard of Restrepo. So Sebastian Younger is the guy that's going to direct it and is kind of leading the effort. Mm-hmm. So we're excited to kind of have them, and then just continue to raise awareness. And at USX.vet, everybody can follow them along the climb. We've done well in getting, Harold reached out and we got full satellite, and they're going to be able to give clips of where they're at and throughout the climb. So,
Really?
Oh
wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna be able to be followed on usx.bet, and of course when they go there, we're always looking for any donations to help keep raising awareness and help us with our Nexus Expeditions. We're going to start with this, and then we're going to move on to continue to impact them affected by this.
Let's take a little break, and we will be right back to talk about this. I want to make sure that our listeners get that information again so we can go online and look at this and look forward to the movie. He said I could call him Todd. Todd Burnett, when we come back. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. For Wednesday, times of clouds and sunshine with a shower and thunderstorm around during the afternoon and evening hours. The high today, 81 at the coast, 86 inland. And later Wednesday night, mostly cloudy, those 64 inland, 69 at the coast. For Thursday, a blend of sun and clouds with an afternoon or evening shower or thunderstorm. High 79 at the coast, up to 84 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
This Mother's Day, join us for Pokin' for the Pee-wees. Saturday, May 7th, 11 to 2. Food, prizes, petting zoo, pictures with Disney princesses and superheroes, bounce houses, games, live music, and more. See you at Beautiful Moments Party Rental just south of the airport on 60th Avenue. Limited vendor space available. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, with A Better You Healthcare at 352-615-5566. 615-5566.
At Ameris Bank, we understand that there is no purchase more exciting than the purchase of a new home. We are dedicated to helping you find the mortgage that meets your needs and giving you the personal attention you deserve. Our mortgage options offer a variety of benefits, including up to 100% financing, down payment assistance, and expansive credit qualifications, all with the competitive rates and exceptional service. Call Ameris Bank today or visit amerisbank.com to learn more. We look forward to serving you.
Ameris Bank is an equal housing lender and member of FDIC, a loan subject to credit approval.
22 minutes after 9 o'clock. One of the things that we must do as American towns is we must celebrate our veterans. We made such a huge mistake in this country in the Vietnam War era by not recognizing the contribution that the soldiers made during that conflict. And now we are doing so much better at it, and yet maybe not good enough. I mean, when you have a town that says, okay, we're going to honor you on Veterans Day, or we're going to have a very special ceremony. Here in this town, I got to say that Ocala really, truly steps up to the plate. I mean, we have one of the most beautiful veterans parks. We have events happening all the time over at the Veterans Park. We have the Kingdom of the Sun concert band, which, there is no other musical organization that I've ever known of that does everything for free. It's led by a veteran. Les Muncaster is a veteran. It's all volunteer. They never ask for a penny.
No.
They will play these beautiful patriotic shows every time. And it's just, if there's any group of people we need to admire and say, you guys really are a step above the rest of us, it's our vets. Absolutely. And I can say that because I'm not a vet. I absolutely think that this is the way we should be treating our brothers and fathers and sisters who have served and have made that decision to serve. And Todd Burnett, Command Sergeant Major Todd Burnett, on the phone right now. By the way, one thing we haven't really explained is what USX stands for. And I'm going to ask Todd to do that.
Okay.
What does it actually stand for?
U.S. Expeditions.
Expeditions, okay.
Right, yeah. So, it's the U.S. Expeditions and, and then, of course, with veterans. So we're just, again, we're trying to look for them expeditions. We started with the biggest challenge that you could, and then we're going to work through some other, and keep looking for, again, ways to put some stress on people so they can learn to rely on each other, but also, get to that, who do I call? Who do I call? Who can I count on? And what, the thing that you highlighted, Larry and Robin, is so important. about how veterans, the American population has really done a stand-up job during, these conflicts we've been in. I'm amazed by the support that we get. You all having me online today, but everywhere you go, people support our military. And, for me, I just want to say thank you, because it really is a different time for us in the military, and the support that we garner from folks just like you and the others. What an amazing amount of support we get.
Well, and you deserve that support. Let me give an illustration, if I could. Let's suppose, and hopefully this never happens to anybody, but let's suppose you're walking to a convenience store, okay? And here comes a guy coming up to you, and he's got a gun on you, and he says, "Give me all your money or you're dead." And then from behind him comes a guy with a karate chop or a baseball bat or a gun or something and knocks this guy to the ground, and you are safe. You are never going to forget that person who saved you. You are never, that person saved you. And so when you see somebody with a uniform on or with a hat that signifies that they're a veteran or a pin or you just can tell by their demeanor, this happens all the time, you're a vet, aren't you? Yes. Well, you are that guy. You're the one who stepped up in my place. You're the one who stopped somebody bad from doing something bad to me. Mm-hmm. So it's so hard to know what to do when you guys come back from the battles and we find out that you are thinking about suicide or even worse, have gone through with it. And so what you're doing, there's nothing more important you could be doing right now, Todd, than what you're doing.
I really appreciate that. And again, it is a different breed. It's somebody, like you stated in the beginning, it's an all-volunteer Army, but it takes a special person, and it takes a special family, I have been married to my wife for 26 years, and God love her. Her and my two sons went through all this as well, so it's a family business, and I just think that we've done real good in raising awareness of what our veterans are doing and what our service members are doing. And, God bless them.
Yeah. You also have First Lieutenant Elise Ping Medvegy doing the climb?
Yes, we do. Active duty soldier, kind of linked in with Harold. They're both West Point graduates. And she's been a climber, and she jumped right on board and is out there with Harold and impacting it. And how significant is that? Like you said, Robin, we got a male soldier, we got a female soldier, and we got a veteran that's a single amputee. So we have hit every spectrum that could, and they've just taken on this monumental task, and they're going to bond together. So it's great to watch them come together and be as one.
So there's 3 people actually climbing and 3 people on the ground team. That's you, and you're one of them, right? The 3?
Well, I was going, but what happened is we decided that I could make more of an impact back here doing just what I'm doing.
Okay.
So, I was going up until the end, and then decided that I would not go forward. But we will have people. So, Connor Love, another lieutenant, will be going forward for a portion of it, and then Captain Matt Hickey, another climber, will be going forward to do some of the climb with them as well. Mm-hmm. Another seasoned climber that's going to go forward. So we do have people that will go at different times, and then we have a ground crew. We have Tommy Ferguson over there, who is Harold's cousin, and long time played baseball with him, and he's a part of the ground crew.
Todd, we're just about out of time. I don't want to say goodbye before we give out the website again. What is the website so we can follow what you're doing?
It's usx.vet, and you can follow us along and get updates regularly.
Okay, we will do that. We'll make sure we spread the word a little bit too. usx.vet. This interview has been recorded. Of course, you won't be able to see Todd on the video. You'll see the top of my head and Robin's pretty face. But the audio is what's important. Share this with somebody and spread the word. usx.vet. Thank you, Todd. Command Sergeant Major Todd Burnett. Thank you so much for what you've done. And again, thank you for your service.
No, thank you so much for having me, and appreciate you raising this awareness and all the discussion, and I hope you all have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too. We'll take a break. Be right back.
Nomination because
they have in opponent Bernie Sanders a fantasist who's at passionate war with reality. By choosing Clinton, Empire State Dems would powerfully signal that the party has gotten real about achieving long-sought goals.
Adam Shapiro with the Fox Business Network. Bernie Sanders picking up an endorsement from Senator Jeff Merkley. Tens of thousands of Verizon workers walk off the job after being without a contract since August.
We need the unions to work with us on creating new contracts that reflect the state of the business in 2016, and so far they are unwilling to do that.
That's Verizon spokesman Rich Young. Union spokesman Bob Master says they want Verizon to freeze pensions, among other things.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. Fox News. We report, you decide.
If you really want to protect your vehicle's floor, why would you settle for anything less than the most advanced vehicle floor protection available? I'm David McNeil, founder of WeatherTech. The main goal when we design, engineer, and manufacture our floor liners is to protect your vehicle's floor, period. We realize you've made quite an investment in your vehicle, so we do everything possible to help you protect it. We don't cut corners, and we don't compromise on quality, ever. We test our custom-fit WeatherTech floor liners to ensure they hold up against anything and everything that falls on them. Dirt, sand, snow, mud, even food and drinks. And our floor liners are made right here in America, with American raw materials and, of course, American workers. So now that you know how passionate we are about protection, just imagine the detail and energy we put into every aspect of our floor liners. Learn more today about our full line of automotive accessories at WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats. WeatherTech floor liners, complete protection, completely American-made.
Yeah, I'm that drip coming down from the corner of the room. But where did I come from? I'll never tell.
Bone dry roof you can, and we'll fix it right the first time using quality